the CFP franc is the currency used in the French overseas collectivities of French Polynesia, New Caledonia and Wallis and Futuna. The initials CFP originally stood for Colonies Françaises du Pacifique. This was later changed to Communauté Financière du Pacifique and then to the present term, change Franc Pacifique. The ISO 4217 currency code is XPF. History equals 1945 Euro 1949 equals, the CFP franc was created in December 1945, together with the CFA franc, used in Africa. The reason for the creation of these francs was the weakness of the French franc immediately after the Second World War. When France ratified the Bretton Woods Agreement in December 1945, the French franc was devalued in order to set a fixed exchange rate with the US dollar. New currencies were created in the French colonies to spare them the strong devaluation of December 1945. Rena Copyright Plevin, the French Minister of Finance, was quoted saying, "A euro in a show of her generosity and selflessness, metropolitan France, wishing not to impose on her faraway daughters the consequences of her own poverty, is setting different exchange rates for their currency a euro. The CFA franc and the other colonial currencies were set at a fixed exchange rate with the French franc. However, the CFP franc was set at a fixed exchange rate with the US dollar, which played a major role in the economy of the French Pacific territories on account of World War II. That situation ended in September 1949 when the CFP franc was given a fixed exchange rate with the French franc. Equals 1949 Euro 1985 equals, the CFP franc has been issued by the IEOM since 1967. The IEOM has its headquarters in Paris. The currency was initially issued in three distinct forms for French Polynesia, New Caledonia and the New Hebrides. Wallis and Futuna used the New Caledonian franc. Although the banknotes of the New Hebrides bore the name of the territory, the notes of French Polynesia and New Caledonia could only be distinguished by the name of the capitals on the reverse of the notes. In 1969, the New Hebrides franc was separated from the CFP franc and was replaced by the Vanuatu of in 1982. Since 1985 equals. The new highest denomination 10,000 CFP franc banknote issued on October 1, 1986, was the first one that was not overprinted with a city name. The 500 franc banknote, issued in 1992, and the 1,000 and 5,000 franc banknotes, issued in 1995, are also without the overprint. The designs of the 500, 1,000, 5,000 franc banknotes did not change. Today, all banknotes are strictly identical from New Caledonia to French Polynesia. One side of the banknotes shows landscapes or historical figures of French Polynesia, while the other side of the banknotes shows landscapes or historical figures of New Caledonia. The coins are still separated in two sets. One side of the coins is identical from New Caledonia to French Polynesia, while the other side of the coins is inscribed with the name Nouvelle Color copyright Donné in New Caledonia and in Wallis in Futuna, and with the name Paulina copyright Cypherna sectionnaires in French Polynesia. Both sets of coins can be used in all three French territories. The situation of the CFP coins is thus quite similar to that of the euro coins, which have a national side but can be used in all countries of the Eurozone. Historical exchange rates equals, December 26, 1945 to September 20, 1949 a euro fixed exchange with the US dollar at $1 equals 49.6 CFP francs. Non-fixed exchange rate with the French franc, which devaluates 4 times versus the US dollar. From 1 CFP franc equals 2.40 FRF in December 1945, the exchange rate reached 1 CFP franc equals 5.50 FRF in September 1949. September 21, 1949 to December 31, 1959 a euro fixed exchange rate with the French franc at 1 CFP franc equals 5.50 FRF. January 1, 1960 to December 31, 1998 a euro fixed exchange rate with the French franc at 1 CFP franc equals 0.055 FRF. January 1, 1999 onward the euro fixed exchange rate with the euro at 1,000 CFP francs equals 8.38 euro, the 1960 and 1999 events are merely changes in the currency in use in France. The relative value of the CFP franc versus the French franc/euro is unchanged since 1949. Coins. In 1949, New Caledonia and what was then called French Oceania began to issue coins. The coins have been separated in two types, the obverses are identical, whilst the reverses are distinct. Both types of coins can be used in all three French territories. The situation of the CFP coins is thus quite similar to that of the euro coins, which have a national side but can be used in all countries of the eurozone. The new Hebrides franc had a different history of coin issuance before being replaced by the Vanuatu in 1982. Banknotes. The IEOM began issuing banknotes in New Hebrides in 1965, and in New Caledonia and French Polynesia in 1969. On October 1, 1986, a new banknote, the 10,000 francs, was introduced which did not bear any distinguishing mark and was common to both French Polynesia and New Caledonia. These were followed, between 1992 and 1995, by 500 franc 1,000 franc and 5,000 franc notes for all of the French Pacific territories. The overall design has not changed since 1969. One side shows landscapes or historical figures of New Caledonia, while the other side of the banknotes shows landscapes or historical figures of French Polynesia. On January 6, 2014, the IEOM has unveiled designs for a new series of banknotes. The new notes were issued on January 20. The older issues will circulate in parallel to the new series until the former will lose legal tender status on September 30, but can be exchanged indefinitely at the Institut d'Euro Unregistered Trademark Émission d'Euro Unregistered Trademark Outre-mer offices. Tara. Before the French regulated the currency on Tahiti, French Polynesia, traders often used dollars. The word euro or $1 became tara, and this term is still used among native Tahitian and local Chinese traders as an unofficial unit, worth 5 francs. Thus for a price of 200 francs, one would say tara e mahaeuru in Tahitian. The currency of Samoa is also called the tala. See also, CFA franc, currencies related to the euro, French Polynesian franc, Monetary Union, New Caledonian franc, New Hebrides franc. References. External links. Discover the Franc Pacifique currency.